Hey everyone, Andrew here, Melbourne Superman. It's time for another review. So, keeping in line with what I've been doing for the last few weeks, couple months, I'm going to do another shoe review. So obviously, those of you who follow my page, you know that I run a lot. I work out a lot, but most of the time, my main goals have to do with running, whether they be a Spartan race or a marathon or an ultra marathon or half marathon, any kind of endurance race is kind of where the majority of my goals lie, right? Before I get into it, I just want to make sure that you all know that if you are enjoying my channel, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notifications bell, ding, ding. It really helps my channel out. Really want to spread the word, get as many people to the page as possible so that we can really help people get fit, find out more about cosplay, find out more about mental health, find out new workout routines, find new shoes, who knows? But yeah, please help me out. Do that for the page. That'd be awesome. Today, what I'm going to be doing, so the last review I did was the Alphafly Next %. So those are a great shoe. They help me in my shorter distances a lot. I wouldn't wear them past maybe a 5K, maybe a 10K, but probably a 5K, mostly because of how they are constructed, specifically in the inside, that they give me like these big blood blisters because of just the way that they are constructed on the inside. So today, I'm going to review the Nike Alphafly Next %2. So this is the next gen of that shoe, the Alphafly Next %. And this is actually the shoe, not this particular shoe, this is the second pair that I've owned. But this model shoe, same color, same model, same everything, is the shoe that took me to my marathon injury-free. So if you followed my journey, you know that I've been running marathons for the last few years. And I've done, 5 or 6, maybe 7 marathon or greater distances. Now, this shoe, my last full marathon, 42.2 kilometers in October 2022, was the first time that I had completed a marathon since my very first marathon without any pain in my knee, without any pain in my hip. Now, that's a lot of things. That's training, that's different exercise regimes, that's rehab with my myotherapist, Jason, over at Performance Myotherapy. But this is the shoe that I wore. I wore this shoe. I ran a 340 marathons, about an 820 mile pace, smashing my personal best out of the water by over 40 minutes, almost an hour. And part of the thing about running is you've got to find the right shoe. Now, this is not an everyday shoe. It is a speed workout shoe or it is a race shoe. This shoe in particular is my marathon shoe. Most recently, I ran an ultra marathon, 50 kilometers 2 weeks ago at this point. I wore this shoe. This is the actual shoe that I wore for that one. So it treated me really well. I had no issues with my knees or my hips or anything. Distance be damned. Like, you're going to get tired. The shoe's not magic. It's not going to change your life or anything, but it can help you change your running in terms of how you move through your gait and how your biomechanics work. So as I said in the last video, this shoe is actually, it's just an amazing piece of technology. So the whole thing about the Alphaflys and the Vaporflies and the 3% and the 4% is theoretically, they don't necessarily make you 3 or 4% faster, but they will help you basically gain 3 or 4% in terms of economical usage. So you get 3 to 4% better in terms of economy, return, and how you're moving through the motion. So they should make you a little bit less tired. So I can attest that this shoe, the Alphafly, I could wear on like a really long workout, and I am doing things that I shouldn't be able to do on my 8th or 9th rep in say a set of 16 like 400 meter repeats. If I'm wearing a different shoe, I'm probably not able to keep up the same pace with the gait and the running form that I'm keeping up as I am in this shoe. Big differences in this shoe. Actually, I'll give you a little bit of side-by-side. It is a little bit wider, so you can see it is wider. I think you can probably see. You can see it's wider. The lip comes up a little bit further than this shoe, keeping you a little bit more secure and less. You're moving around less. Now you can see in the Alphafly Next %, you can see where the sole kind of just comes down and cuts off at the side, whereas in the Next %, it comes up a little bit. So it raises up a little bit. So you're not, this shoe doesn't give me blisters the way that the original Next % did. It's much more structured in terms of how your heel is sitting, your foot's sitting a little bit more deeply into those foam sidewalls, so you're not getting those blisters. It's more contoured. The rear and the midfoot are much more stable, and this helps the foot move a lot easier in terms of forward momentum. I will say that much like the Alphafly Next Percent, the Next Percent 2 is not a great shoe to turn in, so you can't really take hairpin turns that well. But, you know, in terms of how far you're going and how fast you're going, how comfortable you are, it's great. The upper is more open as well, but it is also more structured and stiff. So it basically, it's just, it's hard to explain unless you're kind of like with them, but the Next Percent, it's not floppy, but it's not as stiff and structured and secure as this. Okay, so if you look at the Vaporflies, which I don't think I've done a review on yet, the Vaporflies are very like paper thin and they don't really stand up on their own, whereas the Alphaflies do. They're just a little bit more secure. This is a little bit, I think, I'm pretty sure it's I should have weighed them. I'm almost positive that the Next Percent 2 is a little bit more heavy than the Next Percent. Not by much. It's like not a big difference, but it is good to know. Overall, this is probably a much better shoe for me. So the downfalls of the shoe, like I said, there's turning. You know, you can't really make hairpin turns in a shoe like this because it's just not made for that. It's made for distance, speed, running, not technical at all. It is a little bit, if you're going to, okay, so this last race that I did, the 50K in Brimbank, it's an urban trail, right? So it's like a lot of pavement, it's a little bit of grass, some technical, but not really. The most technical bit is not, it's like a 2 out of 10. You feel really insecure on any kind of technical bits with this shoe because it's not made for that. So it is a road running shoe. That said, it's also not really a rainy weather shoe. So I will say at Brimbank, when I was wearing this shoe, there were moments where it was raining a little bit. Not a lot, but just enough to, you know, wet the pavement a little bit. And this shoe is very slippery. It does have, it's got, you know, it's kind of got, I don't know, you'd call them like mini lugs, but they're not really. There's not a lot of traction on this thing. There's much more traction on the Next Percent, if you can see that, as opposed to this. It's not bad by any means. It's just not, it's not made for, like, it's very slippery on the, on wet surfaces. So other than that, smooth, stable. I would say even if you're like a slow marathoner or like a slow runner, like 340 marathon, 820 mile, not like it's a middle of the, I'm a middle of the pack runner at the moment. I'm hoping to get faster, but I wouldn't not wear this shoe if I was running slower. Like my 50K, obviously there's a lot more elevation, but I completed the 42 at about 4.5 hours and I still felt good in the shoe. Like, it took me to where I needed to go. So I would say I recommend this shoe 8 out of 10. The other cons is with this shoe is you can't wear it every day. Like any super shoe, you shouldn't be wearing every day. Maybe the New Balance, what are they called? The Super Comp fuel cells. You could probably wear those every day. Those particular shoes don't really work well for me. I think I haven't done a review on those yet, but I might. But those are kind of like a combination. They're like a hybrid, but most super shoes you shouldn't be wearing every day because they're not meant to be. And you want to give the cushioning, you want to give the gel, you want to give the gases inside time to rest and recuperate. And aside from that, any of the Vaporfly or Alphafly ranges shoes, you're going to find that if you have ankle issues, these are not going to help. If you don't have ankle issues, they might make your ankles sore because of the support there, because of the way that they do force you up onto the balls of your feet, because you can't really heel running these shoes at all. So if you're not used to that, you're going to find that you're going to have problems with your soleus, your calf, your Achilles, your heel, might even dive into, you know, a bit of plantar. But, you know, I've been lucky. So it's just a question of how you run. So if you are going to transition to a shoe like this, you've got to do it carefully. I don't wear my Alphafly's super shoes. I don't wear them. I generally wear them twice a week. That's on a speed workout, and if my long run has any kind of quality to it. Like, for example, this weekend I did 30 minutes easy, 30 minutes hard tempo, 30 minutes easy. So I wore these so I could do my 30 minutes hard tempo hard. And I ran that anywhere from 7:30 to 8 minute mile. And they treated me just well. If I was just doing like a 10 or 12 mile, just like easy, longish run, I would just wear my Asics, right? So you want to be careful about that. If you are not used to wearing shoes like this, transition into them slowly. I wear a combination of these and my Asics mostly when I run. But when I'm not running, I'm not wearing sneakers at all. Like, I'm wearing my barefoot shoes all the time. And I feel like that probably has helped me get used to these, just because, you know, you're wearing barefoot shoes, you're working different parts of your muscles, you're getting things used to what they need to be doing. So that is the Alphafly Next Percent 2 price range. You're looking at probably around $350 Australian at least for this shoe, if and when you can find them. I've been lucky. I get my shoes from Sportitude. They have an awesome returns policy. They generally have these in stock. If they don't, I try to go to Soul Motive or just a specialty running store. You're not going to find these at like Rebel, or you might not even find these at the Nike store, because these are so specialized and so niche, really, that you might need to find like a specialized shoe store. These ones now, okay, so in terms of how long they last, my other pair that I wore for the marathon, I probably got like, I don't know, at least, I'm going to say I've got at least 250 miles on those, maybe more. And I still wear them and they're fine. Like, I can tell that they don't have that same pop that they did. So for like a $360 shoe, I think I don't mind that. I mean, you probably shouldn't wear them longer than 150 to 200 miles, unfortunately, these shoes, if that, because you're going to find that you're not going to get that same return. But I haven't had any problems. Like, I'll probably wear these until I've got 300 miles on them. And the only reason that I'll buy a new pair is for my next race. Like, I won't wear these or my other pair at my next race in July. I'll get a new pair for that. And then I'll just rotate one of these out and those into the training run shoes, and I'll wear the newer pair for the race. So that's how I roll with that. An expensive hobby. You know, those people are like, oh, it's cheap to run. All you got to do is put on shoes and go. It's like, yeah, well, once you get done with the shoes and the fancy running clothes and the heart rate monitors and the watches and the gels and the music and the headphones, and it becomes a really expensive sport, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's just you and you out there, and you've got to have the right shoe, and you've got to figure out what that means. So if you're not sure how to get the right shoe, I would encourage you to go to a running-specific shoe store, like Soul Motive, like the running company, and what they'll do is they'll ask you about your running, they'll ask you about maybe your injury, or you can just let them know. They'll get you on a treadmill, they'll look at you run, they'll look at you walk, they'll look at your gait, and they'll probably pull out about 5 or 6 potential shoes that could work for you, and then you'll try them on. You have a bit of a run in store, and most running stores will be like, yeah, if you hate these, you bring them back. But if you're not sure what shoe you should be wearing, don't take my word for it. Go to a running shoe store, get yourself fitted for a good pair of shoes, go see your PT, go see your Mayo, see what they recommend, because what works for me might not work for you. These are a great shoe. I love them very much. But you've got to be really careful how often you use them and when and for what workouts and how long you keep them. So that is the Alphafly Next Percent 2 review. So look, again, thanks so much for watching. If you did please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notifications bell, ding, ding, and follow me at Melbourne Superman on Instagram, Melb Superman on Twitter. Thanks so much for watching. I will catch you next time.